You know what I thought? Is this lady talking to this stuff?
Listen.
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Let's go plant-based grocery shopping. And we're not gonna go to one of those specialty health food stores. We're gonna go to my local grocery store. You know, a big issue that a lot of people tell me is that they feel like eating plant-based and going grocery shopping is super expensive. But I wanna show you how I go grocery shopping. And I'm not just gonna show you what I'm getting, but why I buy it. Actually, it's 9:31. I need to be back here in about an hour and a half because I have a meeting. So I gotta get to it. Let's do this. First thing, whenever I go grocery shopping, I always go to the perimeter because that's where you have most of the produce. You can have all your fruits and veggies. But even before that, what I should say, make you a list, okay? This is a long list. I also make sure I'm not hungry when I go grocery shopping. That way I'm not picking stuff that I don't need. One of my favorite things to get is this. This cold pressed juice is super good. And I like it because 7 grams of protein, 9 grams of fiber, and no added sugar, which is not typical of most juices. And now we're gonna go to the green part. Look at this, looks so beautiful. So I always get parsley because this is really good for like adding garnish. It adds flavor too, believe it or not. But I get flat leaf parsley. I don't get the curly leaf because I don't like how that tastes and it doesn't look as pretty. Cilantro, I love using this for my different salsas. We're probably gonna use this later on in our recipes. And then I got they got a new thing that I gotta get. You know what it is, right? Ooh, you know what that is? Both these, actually 1, 2, and 3. So I gotta do my collards, all right? It's the holidays. And the good thing about these is that they last a long time in the fridge, so you don't have to worry about them going bad. They're very hardy vegetables. I also like to get cabbage because this is also very hardy. Because I think a lot of times people think when you're buying produce from the grocery store, you only have so long before it goes bad. But if you get the hardy kind, like cabbage, Brussels sprouts, kale, collard greens, they last in the fridge for longer without wilting like how a spinach would. Now, if you know, this is one of my favorite things to get, butternut squash. And usually when I cook it, I use this big part right here. It's low carbs. It's a lot of fiber in this, so I love to use this for sauces. I'll roast it, stir fries, all types of stuff. So we're gonna get a couple of these. Another hearty vegetable to get is this, Brussels sprouts. So they're very similar to me. They're similar to cabbage. Growing up, I thought, man, Brussels sprouts, I'd never want that. But honestly, they taste like little mini cabbage. They don't taste bad to me. We just got our greens, so now I'm gonna get my reds, my yellows, my oranges, because we eat with our eyes, and having all those colors means we're gonna get a lot more nutrients. Bell peppers is a really good way to get that. You get a couple of those bell peppers. And then I love to use limes. I love using citrus. It adds flavor to dishes without having to add a lot of salt. I also like to add it to my water because I can't stand plain water. So I'm gonna get lemon and lime. I'm gonna get some blueberries for some quick snacks, and I like to add this to different like salads or oatmeal, things like that. Also gonna do some strawberries. Those are also low sugar, high fiber fruits. So that's the reason why I like to have a lot of those at home. Let's look at the list. So blueberries, strawberries. This is what I use to help me for like the meaty flavor that I don't get anymore since I don't eat meat, and it's actually mushrooms. Now don't feel like you have to get the super special mushrooms like the oyster mushrooms, things like that. I'm actually gonna get these regular baby Bella mushrooms. You can even do the same thing with white button mushrooms. So in fact, I'm gonna get the baby Bella ones, but I'm also gonna get the regular, whole, fresh, regular white button mushrooms because I'm gonna show you can do something really special with them. Even with the simple ingredient, it's gonna taste really good. Now, one thing I didn't put on the list, but I forgot, but I'm looking at it and I need to get is, I like to always have carrots because these are really good for like if you want to make soups and stews, but also like if you want to make a quick like roasted vegetables in the oven, these go really good because they have a nice sweetness already. So when you roast them, that comes out even more. And I'm also gonna get one more thing I forgot to get with the greens, some celery. Now I know you were probably thinking celery is so boring. When your palate changes, this tastes really good. The crunch of this is so refreshing. I'll dip it in almond butter or peanut butter. I like to use it to make salads. So definitely always have carrots and celeries in my refrigerator. Now, the next section is mainly my fruit, because what I'm thinking is like, how can I get something that's a quick, easy snack that I could grab without having to prep stuff? So for me and my family, our go-tos are either going to be Granny Smith apples or these pink lady apples or Honeycrisp apples. Because I'm thinking about making an apple pie for for Thanksgiving, I think I'm gonna go with the Granny Smith apples. All right, plant-based protein. Listen, we're still in the produce section. For me, for plant-based protein, what I don't do any of the faux meats because number one, they're super expensive. Number two, some of the ingredients are a little iffy for me. So my go-to is actually this. It's actually tofu. And I get specifically this super firm tofu by Nasoya. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So you'll see there's a super firm, there's extra firm, there's firm, more extra firm, firm. All that means is that the texture, the more firm it is, the more there's not as much water, so that it's easier for you to get really good flavor, but also not it fall apart when you're cooking it. So for people who are new to tofu, I usually tell them to get super firm if they can, or extra firm if they can. Last thing from this section are baby spinach. I love using this for smoothies, for my salads. It's a quick way to add in greens. You can also saute it, but it wilts really fast. But my daughter loves eating spinach like this. Now, I made a list, but I'm looking at this and I'm wondering if I should get it. I think I'm gonna get it. Red potatoes. I think I'm gonna make these some mashed potatoes for later. So I'm gonna get some potatoes. All right, now we're outside of the cold produce section and more of like it's still produce, but it's actually outside of the cold area. And then this is like the international area, which I love. I always have yellow onions because I think they add a nice flavor to any dish. So I'm either going to get, I typically get, oh, these are actually sweet onions. So actually these ones, I get yellow onions. I'm gonna get a couple of these. I'm also a fan of red onions. My daughter says they should be called purple onions, but I like the flavor for these too, especially if I'm making something that's fresh and I'm not cooking them. I prefer these for like my sauces and things. Onions have a lot of fiber actually. It's actually good for gut health. Now they have a deal because it's the holiday, 25 cents a pound for all these sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. I like to roast them, probably make a pie with them. I don't know, we'll see. So I'm gonna get a ton of these. And then the good thing is, even if I don't need all of them now, because they're potatoes, they last for a long time, as long as I put them in a dry area. So that's what I'm gonna make sure I do that. Now this is one of my favorite sections, like the international section. So you got your avocados, different tomatoes. So remember I said I always have onions for my flavor base. I also always do garlic because this is really important for getting good flavor. And then when I want something fresh that's super easy, I do tomatoes. I always get the ones in the vine because they taste fresher since they're still connected to that vine. And they last a little bit longer if you get the ones that are already taken off the vine. And then all the nutrients. I mean, look how pretty it is. That red, you're gonna get so many good nutrients there. I also like these tomatoes. These are like the cherry tomatoes. These are really good for salads, also for tomato sauce. And they're super flavorful. They have a nice sweetness to them. And then I usually get a couple of avocados because I love having something that's creamy since I'm not eating dairy. So I make sure it's this color. So like not green, but not black. And usually what I do is I just press. And if I can see my fingerprint kind of indent like that, this usually means I need to use it today. So I'm gonna have one for today. And then I get one that's not as ripe that I can leave out. Something more like this. It's a little bit greener and it's harder. So I'll leave this out to let this ripen up a little bit. Green plantains have become my new favorite thing. Oh my gosh. I'm going to use this for later. I'm going to show you. And then I also like yellow plantains because they have a nice sweetness and they're like a nice side dish, especially for me because I have a sweet tooth. And when you get them, you just want to make sure that if you want to use them that same day, you want to make sure there's a lot of black there because that means they're ripe and ready to use. If it's all yellow, you got to sit it on your counter, maybe in a paper bag or around like avocados and things like that make it ripen quicker. Now, I already said I might be making a salsa. So if I'm going to make a salsa, I love having jalapenos. Ooh. They have fresh turmeric here. Anti-inflammatory. This is turmeric. I might get this. Maybe I'll make some tea with this. Okay, this is an add-on, but it's a good add-on. Now, all right, we got sweet potatoes. We got regular potatoes. These are my favorite potatoes, okay? Japanese sweet potatoes. Oh, they're also called Murasaki sweet potatoes. These ones are actually called boniato. They're sweet, but they have like a vanilla flavor. They're sweeter than regular sweet potatoes in my opinion, and their texture is a little bit fluffier. I actually did a new thing where I cut it in half and then I roast it in the oven. When I tell you it tastes so good, so I'm gonna get a couple of these. I love these for my smoothies. And make sure smoothies really creamy and sweet without having to add any added sugar. And then dates are really good. This is like a really easy way to get a snack without having to add a lot of added sugar to your fruit. So I use this to add to my smoothies to make them sweeter. I'll eat them plain. I'll dip them in chocolate and stuff them with peanut butter as like a fun Reese's peanut butter inspired snack. Maybe I'll show that, but yes, I love dates. Okay, so we finished the perimeter. Now we're going into the interior aisles. So this first aisle is actually the condiments aisle. So what I'm looking for here is some Dijon mustard because I like to use that to make different sauces. So I do two different types of mustards. Sometimes I'll get this one. It's more of a stone ground mustard so you can see the individual mustard seeds. Other option is this. This is more like a smoother mustard if you don't want to see any of the seeds. I'm going to use this for my sauce since I already have some stone ground mustard, but either one are really good. Or you could just use regular yellow mustard. Don't feel like it has to be super fancy. Y'all, if you see how full this cart is, look at this. I mean, it's crazy. Oh, here we go. So I love tomato paste. Okay, this is a really great way to make flavorful sauces and stews. The other thing about tomato paste is that it adds a lot of umami, especially if you're eating plant-based. I like this because It's a quick way to get good flavor. So you can do the canned version, but the problem with this is that I'm not ever using that much. I'm only using a little bit. So instead of getting the canned version where I have to open it and then figure out how to put in another container, I get this version. It's actually a tube, almost like toothpaste. And so you use it, you put the cap on, and then you put it in the fridge. And I want to say it lasts at least a week in the fridge. Number 2, peeled tomatoes. I love using these because, like I said, they are good for a spaghetti sauce or for a stew, and they add a lot of flavor. If you don't want to use peeled, you can use crushed tomatoes as well, but they're in a can, so they last forever. My favorite type of tomatoes is diced tomatoes, specifically fire roasted, because the roasting is to bring out even more flavor. Now, if you're someone who's trying to be focused on how much salt you're using, just make sure you look at the back. It's usually got 300 milligrams of sodium in this. But if you want to make sure you're using less salt, you can always get the no salt added tomatoes. So got the tomatoes. Now I'm still in the same aisle at Food Line. Now I'm on the part where they have a lot of like the pasta. So usually I'll get like spaghetti or rigatoni. I know I have spaghetti already, but I'm also gonna get macaroni since it's the holidays. Got to get macaroni. All right, so I got my regular macaroni here. Now my husband doesn't like tacos, but my daughter loves quesadillas. So I'm always getting tortillas. My favorite ones to get actually are these because they're carb balanced and they're a pretty good size for tacos, quesadillas. They only come with 8, so I'm gonna get 2 of these. Now, if you don't like tofu and you're trying to focus on getting more plant-based protein, what I would recommend is this section, the beans. So there's 2 ways you could go. Dry beans, which are super cost efficient because you're getting a whole bunch more for a smaller price, but then it takes longer to cook them unless you have like a pressure cooker. I am going to get some lentils. And now can has a bad rap because people think, oh, there's a lot of sodium. But nowadays they usually give you low sodium or even salt-free, 135 milligrams of sodium per serving. So what I'll do when I use these chickpeas, I'll rinse them really good and I'll drain them before I use them. Ooh, pigeon peas, that's another good one. So I might get this because this might be something I do, these pigeon peas. I am also going to get these cannellini beans because they're creamy and they're soft. So I love to add these to like stews, soups, or like a nice salad, and they're really quick and easy to make. All right, now we're at the end of the same aisle. I haven't left this aisle yet. So coconut milk, I love this brand specifically. The milk is creamy and you just gotta make sure you shake it before you use it. And then this, okay, seaweed snacks. Listen, if you haven't tried these before, they're super good. Now, and you would think, well, it's probably a lot of sodium. It's only got 55 milligrams of sodium for a whole tray. So it's a nice way to get like that crunch if you like chips, but you're trying to be more mindful of salt. Love these. And then because they're seaweed, they have a lot of iodine, which is really good for you. Super tasty. I love seaweed snacks. My daughter really loves them. And then I'm gonna get some tamari, which is, what is tamari again? It's fermented soy sauce. I'm gonna use this for a lot of my sauces. If you're trying to eat more plant-based, spices are important. Like you gotta have spices, like it's necessary. The only spice I really need to get, especially during this time of the year, this one. Poultry seasoning. So I used to think, oh man, poultry seasoning, that means there's chicken. No, there's no chicken in it. It's just the seasoning that's usually used to make chicken taste good, especially during this time of year. So it's got thyme, sage, marjoram, rosemary, black pepper, and nutmeg. And I use it not just for this time of the year, but I'm gonna use it, definitely gonna use it now because it's gonna add a lot of flavor. And there's no salt, so that's really key. When you're buying seasonings, try to stick with the ones that are just the actual ingredient and not so much the all-purpose seasonings because usually they're adding a lot of salt to them. And if you're someone who's trying to be mindful of your salt or just be mindful of your health in general, you want to control how much salt you're adding to things. So my favorite oil to use when I'm cooking is actually avocado oil because it's a high heat oil. It's neutral, so it's really good for sauteing without the oil getting to a high smoke point and burning. Unlike olive oil, you have to be really careful with that. So I stick with avocado oil. All right, my favorite bread, sourdough bread, mainly because it's good for gut health. Because it's using fermented yeast. Now, usually I get the actual bowl, but they already have the sliced one, so I'm gonna have to use this one. All right, we gotta go. It's 11:32. Gotta get out of here. I'm gonna see you at the house. All right, so now that we finished shopping, we're gonna use some simple ingredients to make a quick lunch for me. So the main ingredient is actually gonna be these very simple white button mushrooms. I know a lot of people think, oh, you gotta use super fancy mushrooms. We're gonna debunk that right now. And then we'll also use some of the produce that we got from the grocery store. So first step, get you a wet paper towel, and I'm using it to wipe off the mushroom to make it nice and clean. You could rinse this underwater, but the issue with mushrooms is that they already have a ton of water in them. And so when you add more water, they absorb a lot more water, and that's what makes them mushy. Okay, now that the mushrooms are cleaned, what I'll do is I take my stems off. This is probably the hardest part of dealing with mushrooms is chopping everything. Literally, for our stems, just doing this right here. like a rough chop. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want them to be more of a bite size for me. And then for the bigger pieces, all I'm doing is making sure safety with the knife. Make sure you hold it right. The index finger, thumb holds the blade, 3 fingers hold the back. I do the claw to protect my fingers. Never cut like this. That's how you lose a finger. And all I'm going to do is come straight down. So I'm making little cuts like this. You could get these already washed and cut for you. And the Food Line, I think, is the same price. But I got them like this so that way I can show you guys how I do it. All right, we've cut our mushrooms. I'm going to go ahead and put them in a bowl here. Our mushrooms are nice and clean and chopped, and they're ready for us to cook now. All right, so our pot is hot. So now that the pot is hot, the first thing we're going to do is going to get some avocado oil. Remember, that's the high heat oil. We're going to put about a tablespoon or so. Then we're going to take our mushrooms. We're not going to add anything to them. We're just going to put them right into the pot. We're not going to add any salt. We're not going to add any seasoning. We want to draw out all the moisture that is in the mushrooms before we start adding our seasoning, so that way they're not mushy. That is the secret key when you're cooking mushrooms. Okay, so while the mushrooms are cooking, what we're going to do is we're going to use our time wisely. We're going to make some of the salsa and some of this guac. So we're going to take our tomatoes. We're going to chop them into dice, almost like squares. And then we're also going to do the same thing for our bell peppers. We remove the white inner membrane because a lot of times that could be very bitter, especially if you're not cooking it. And then we'll add the jalapeno for that nice bite of spiciness. If you don't want it to be super spicy, remove the seeds from the jalapeno, and that'll take away a lot of the heat. Then of course we're going to use our red onion. It's going to add color, but again, that bite from the onion is super tasty. So this is the lime we just bought. All I'm going to do is roll it out like this, cut it right in half, get me a fork, put it right inside that lime, squeeze it over all the salsa ingredients. Then we'll do a nice pinch of salt. One key step I almost forgot, cilantro. And all I do is I trim the edges, I chop through the stem, and then just roughly chop the leaves and sprinkle it in at the end. Look at those beautiful colors. It's vibrant. It's so pretty. Like, don't you just want to eat that up? It's so beautiful. And we literally did all that while our mushrooms are cooking. Let's just taste where the flavor is before we put this to the side. Very good. Little kick from the jalapeno. It's there. Now let's check on the mushrooms. As you can see, the mushrooms, they have reduced in size quite a bit. The water has been extracted out. We're just going to flip them to the other side so that way they can all get brown. You see that the browning right there? That's what we want. It's going to be all flavor for later. In the meantime, I took the rest of my red onion. I chopped it up and I just did a quick saute of the red onion with some of these chickpeas that were canned. This will be our protein for our dish. So our mushrooms are done. Let's look at them. As you can see, everybody's brown. Everybody's reduced in size. Now is the time when we want to season them. We'll add a little pinch of salt. You don't need much. Add a little bit of garlic. Your heat should be on low right now, okay? That's important because we don't want this to burn. I'm just going to toss it a little bit like this. If you want to take it to the next level, here's the secret. My favorite jerk paste. Jerk paste with a little bit of maple syrup. The maple syrup will help balance out the spiciness of the jerk paste. So for this much mushrooms, we don't need much, like half of a teaspoon or so of jerk paste. Add about a tablespoon of maple syrup. Just another tablespoon of olive oil so it doesn't burn. We want this to caramelize with the mushrooms. We don't want it to burn. Stir it up, then pour it right over the mushrooms. You're deepening the flavor when you do it like this, and you're basically finishing the mushrooms in this paste. Look at that, right? Don't that look nice? Oh, hold on. We're gonna put our mushrooms in this bowl. Now remember, I sauteed up some chickpeas and red onions. These are them. I'm gonna put them in the same pot that has that jerk paste just to give them a little bit more flavor. Okay, everything is cooked. Now let's plate. This is my favorite part. Let me show you how pretty this is gonna look. So first off, I actually made my own tortilla. This is the gluten-free tortilla. If you haven't seen my last video, that's what this is. But you can use whatever tortilla you want. Then we'll go ahead and add our guacamole. This is gonna be the base to make sure things are nice and creamy and to help things kind of stick. Then we got our chickpeas that were sauteed with the red onions and then finished in that jerk paste. The star of the show, in my opinion, is gonna be these jerk mushrooms, okay? We need something to add a little bit of color, also a little hit of freshness, and that's going to be our bell pepper tomato salsa. For garnish, we're going to put some lime there. All right, so we got it. This could be the thumbnail. It's not going to be. The thumbnail is going to be the grocery image, but I mean, this could be a good thumbnail for later, right? Okay. It's a little bite because it's lunchtime, and honestly, I already had one. I can't even fold it. I put so much, look, I put so much on here. I'm going to do a little squeeze of lime and try my best to pick up most of this. Don't be greedy like me. Let's take a bite. The mushrooms are perfectly spicy. And the salsa cuts right through. And the avocado is so creamy. This tortilla is awesome. The chickpeas, though, They give a nice bite too. Everything just works together perfectly. And that didn't take that long to make. Oh my gosh, y'all. And if you want to learn how to make these tortillas, go to that video right there. All right, see you later. Bye. Bye.